You and I need to have a conversation. This is gonna be quite a vlog. My oh my, this is not a video that I actually planned on making anytime soon, anytime in the near future. But, you know, as you know, life sometimes doesn't exactly go as planned. So now we're here, and now I'm here to tell you guys why this video is titled the way it's titled and what is really going on here. It's not clickbait. I'm actually quarantined. I am actually going to be in my apartment for at least the next 2 weeks. We'll see what happens and how this goes from here, because my roommate actually has some telltale signs of COVID. Now, if I'm being completely transparent, it's not that I didn't think we were gonna get it at some point. It's more of the fact of, like, I thought, when are we gonna get it? Because he, you know, still goes to work for his job. I obviously have, like, minimal contact with people being a freelancer, so that's just my thing. I can be here making YouTube videos. I can just do this right here. Obviously, I want to go out and do things, but I've been doing that a lot less lately. So let's backtrack, and I'll tell you the story of kind of how we got to this point right now, because he's actually getting tested as I'm shooting this video. So what I've been doing is I've actually been documenting and journaling every single one of these, like, symptoms and kind of time stamping things, just kind of making sure that we have some type of data log that's expressing, like, really what's going on here. So it all started on August 25th, and that was around 5 o'clock is whenever the initial suspicion happened, because he said that he had a major headache, he had general body fatigue, and he had some COVID-like symptoms. I mean, like, he was talking about, like, abdominal pain, just, like, general pain, achiness. At first I was kind of like, okay, let's see what this ends up being. Let's see what happens. The craziest part about it is, like, watching him from about 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, I have never seen any type of illness take someone downhill so fast. But at the same time, like, if this is really what it is, that's pretty serious. So around that time is actually whenever he clocks in his temperature, and it's around 100.4, so a little bit above normal. So around 2:30, whenever we get off our group FaceTime with the boys, because we like to play video games, I go ahead and I go out there and get a glass of water, and he's actually sleeping on the couch, but he wasn't really sleeping, he was awake. So I checked in with him, and I'm like, how exactly are you feeling, dude? Like, what's going on? Because clearly he's not feeling well. He's got COVID symptoms, so I don't really know what to expect from here. So at that point, that's whenever he adds some Gatorade to switch down some Tylenol. He could still taste it, so that's a good sign. But he also said that his temperature climbed to about 101 degrees. So from there, he was, like, sweating. He said he was really hot. So at that point, I was like, all right, we're probably gonna need to take some action, because at this point, you're having, like, textbook COVID symptoms. And again, do some research from, like, the CDC on, like, real COVID symptoms. I am not, like, licensed to talk about this. I'm just speaking from our experience. Probably should have started with that, but this is just our experience so far. So at this point, I text one of my family members who is a nurse and kind of explain what's going on, because I don't know what to do as somebody that's living with somebody that has COVID or potentially has COVID. So, you know, I kind of give her the rundown of symptoms. I tell her, like, what's going on, and she says, yes, he definitely needs to get tested, and you probably should too. So I go to sleep, wake up the next day, and I check in with him around 10:30, and that's whenever he says that he feels good. He feels fine. He has, like, just kind of general fatigue, a little bit of a headache, but his temperature's back down to normal at 98, and everything is fine. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, this is a really weird thing. Like, it could have just been, like, an overnight illness. It could have just been a very mild virus or bug, something like that, a cold. But at the same time, in the back of my mind, I was still thinking, okay, this could very well be COVID. We don't know. So from there, we go ahead and migrate our beer fridge that is currently in his room. We migrate it from out there in our common area to the living room, not the living room, his bedroom, so that he can just keep it in there, and that way he can have his stuff and not come out here and potentially expose me to it. Because at this point, he needs to be quarantined to his room, so we kind of put everything that he essentially needs in his room, so that all he has to do is only go to the bathroom and come back. That's it. We also start ordering Instacart. We placed our first order, and honestly, it went pretty smoothly. They forgot an item, but yeah, these things happen. At this stage in the game, I thought that it would probably be the best plan to just assume that he has it, and assume that I too have it, and behave as such. So that means we begin the self-quarantine now. So everything is going fine through the rest of the day. He's just staying in his room, I'm staying in mine. So then that's whenever, around 7 o'clock, I get a very minor headache at the top of my head. And at that point, I was like, okay, That's not good, because his first telltale sign was a headache. But I routinely get headaches. I suffer from chronic migraines, so I get them pretty regularly, so it didn't really feel that different from like just the pre-migraine, because I could feel them coming typically hours in advance. So that's what it felt like. But then once I ate dinner, it actually went away. So I'm assuming I was just hungry. I took my own temperature and it was totally normal. It was like 97.8 or something like that. So yeah, 97.6. Sorry, I documented that. So from 7 to 9 p.m., that's whenever he starts to go downhill again, because his temperature climbed up to about 100.5. I have no idea if he's like looking bad because I'm in my room and he's in his room and we're just on a group FaceTime with the boys because we like to group FaceTime whenever we play games sometimes. So yeah. So mind you, that was at 9:05. At 10:45, his temperature had climbed from 100.5 to 103.1. I felt totally fine. I had no symptoms at this moment. I mean, I didn't know how he was going to progress because he went downhill so rapidly the night before that I figured that the same thing was happening right there. And I was very attentive to his temperature. I was like, dude, you're getting close to like hospital levels. So we got to figure something out. So then from 10:45 to 11:10, his temperature had gone down to 102.6, but he went from being hot to being freezing. And then at 11:56, his temperature went from that to 101.4. So it was progressively going down. At that point, I decided to take my temperature right before I go to bed around 2:30 a.m. So I took my temperature and it was totally normal. It was like 97.8 again. So I check in with him this morning. And that's whenever he says that his peak temperature overnight was 103.7. That sounds awful. And the worst part about it is he said that from 2 to like around 4 o'clock in the morning, not 2, 12 to 4, that's whenever he actually slept. But then from there, his temperature consistently hovered around 103. Here's the real kicker that kind of solidified this whole thing for me. And it was the fact that I sprayed Lysol at him about 3 times, because like I said, I go through his room and Lysol it several times a day. Not go in, but like I spray it in there. I spray the bathroom every time he uses it, but I sprayed it directly at him 3 times. And he said that he didn't smell any of the times. So now it is currently 3 o'clock on a Friday, and he is actually out there getting tested as we speak. So that's what he's doing right now. That's where we're at right now. So content the next couple of weeks is gonna look a little weird. I had a lot planned and lined up to like start getting the ball rolling and doing and shooting, but now that this has happened, clearly that's going to be on pause indefinitely, because I mean there are several potential outcomes to this scenario. Like it could just be COVID, he might have it, I might not get it, and then we resume back to normal in about 2.5 weeks. Or he has it, I end up getting it, and then that kind of just extends how long I'm going to be quarantined. We're not going to be going anywhere. We're not going to be doing anything. It's just going to be in here. We'll see. That's kind of what's going on here. But if you guys want more live updates, follow on Instagram, because I've been putting up stories kind of throughout the day that just kind of show the day-to-day stuff. But of course, I'm going to be making this into like a full-fledged vlog at the end of it, just just to provide another insight into another experience with potential COVID. If it even ends up being COVID. If it's not, then I'm going to give you guys an update anyways, because I feel like this is something that should be shared, honestly. And as long as he's cool with it, I'll share the experience, from his angle. So, it's weird. It's weird. These are crazy times we're living in, and really, I hope that you guys are doing well, because this is a wild time. 2020 has really shaken us up and taken us to whole new levels of craziness that we've never really seen before. So I hope you're doing well, because I know that this is a lot to process and it's a lot to handle. So I really genuinely hope that you guys are okay, that you are safe, that you are doing well, that you are just mentally sound, physically sound, healthy, and well. Honestly, we're all going through it right now, and that is the one ask I have of the world, the universe, whatever you believe in. It's just spread the positivity and spread the love and just make sure everyone's okay. That's it. I mean, it's freaky times we're living in, but that's where we're at. We're in 2020 and we're currently in a pandemic. So I'm going to be doing a lot of, actually probably no curbside. I'm probably just going to do the quarantine part of things, and just have things delivered to the door. So that's where we're at now. That's the stage of the game that we're at. As of right now, like I said, I still feel fine. I've been taking extreme precautions. I hope that he's going to be okay. I hope that this is the worst of it and that he goes up from here. So that's really the main thing. Uh-oh, he's calling. 3 to 5 days for results.
Yeah.
See you guys in the next video.
I'll go here.